What's up everybody, Steve here with Steve Invest. I did another video on mobile home investing with no money down. I talked a lot in that video of actually how to find the deals and structure the deals, but I didn't talk too much in detail about using OPM, other people's money. So in this video, I'm going to talk about 4 main points on how to find and fund the deals for you guys. The 4 points are as follows: market knowledge, attracting investors, the investor presentation, and the investor negotiation. Now in that other video on mobile home investing with no money down, I talked about getting into mobile home investing on buying structures that are roughly between $3,000 and $5,000 each. Now I'll put a link for that video at the end of this video in the description below, because you guys are going to want to take a look at that video and digest it in its entirety to really scout out the necessary mobile home parks where you will find these deals. Now, how are we going to find the investors that are going to invest not just in the structure and the mobile home itself, but also invest in you, especially if you're brand new to this and you've never invested in anything before? Well, I'm going to walk you through this, and honestly, once you get your first deal and that deal is set up and it's cash flowing and it's making that investor money and they're happy with it, that investor likely is going to come back to you, but also you provided proof of concept, and that proof of concept is something that you're going to be able to utilize in your presentation to other outside investors. The first thing is market knowledge, and there are 3 main points that are imperative to understand and to research. Number 1 is the market value of the structure in specific mobile home parks. So you're gonna have to understand, what do the retail values go for if the mobile home is fixed up or if it's in bad, poor condition? What is the retail value of those? And what is your estimation on what you can get those at a more of a wholesale price? Because at the end of the day, you guys have to be buying these right. The second point is rent rate. We have to know what these things are gonna rent out for, and not just rent out, but rent out fairly quickly. We got to make sure that these properties get occupied as fast as possible. So when you guys do market these, you guys have tenants lined up and ready to go as quickly as possible, because understand something, there is lot rent associated with these structures, and you guys are going to be on the hook for those lot rents until you get somebody in there paying you guys rent. Number 3 is the cost to get these into rentable or even sellable condition. I say sellable in the circumstances that you guys, instead of want to be landlords, you guys actually want to provide seller financing. I'm going to provide another video on that as well, where you guys can actually create seller financing notes so you guys can avoid all the headaches associated with fixing up the structures as well as future repairs. Now, in order to gain market knowledge on those 3 components, it's imperative to actually get out, put your feet on the ground and go through these mobile home parks. So I highly encourage you guys, and take a look at that other video. We talk more about scouting these properties out, but you have to get a list of all the mobile home parks in your area, drive around and start calling on the signs of the mobile homes that are for sale. Call these owners, set appointments, go look at them, check out Craigslist, try to find properties that are on Craigslist for sale as well, and go to the properties, evaluate them. Go, if there's an on-site manager, go to the on-site manager, talk details with the manager, find out all the information about the mobile home park, the lot rent, and maybe even why people actually moved to that location and so forth. So we really want to get a really good idea of every mobile home park. All right, attracting investors. Now we need to get the investors, assuming you guys don't have the funds to fund these yourself. You need to find investors. These are anybody that has some money in their pocket that want to get a return on their investment. Now, if you haven't heard of the term sphere of influence is anybody that you know. And now this doesn't necessarily have to be people that you know really well, but I do encourage you guys first to speak with family, friends, co-workers, and so forth, but really anybody that you guys do know that you guys can sit down and start presenting to. So you're going to want to gather this list together. Now look, some of you guys might be saying, everybody I know is broke, and that's okay. All that means is you have to now go outside your sphere of influence. So if this is the case, you have to develop new relationships. How can we do this? Just in my local area, there are a handful of REI groups, real estate investor groups, that you guys can affiliate yourself with. There's also BNI groups, which are business groups that you guys can get affiliated with. So you guys want to start searching and Google local real estate groups in your area. You might even have to go outside of your area that you can travel to. A lot of these groups meet weekly as well. So you got to have an in, and you can start networking within those groups and basically take certain people out to lunch or out for coffee or something that you do meet and develop relationships with. And then you can start on certain presentations in terms of what you do and what you're trying to accomplish. Also, another great way to find other groups are local Facebook groups. So get on Facebook as well. There's a ton of groups out there as well. And a lot of people that you're going to want to look for are like anybody that's interested in investing or personal finance, any of those kind of groups. So start engaging on Facebook. Start reaching out to people that are leaving comments or asking questions, and see if you can start setting up meetings so you guys, again, can meet for coffee or lunch, so you guys can sit down and talk about what they're trying to accomplish and what you could do for them. All right, the presentation. Look, assuming you guys did your homework, and hopefully you did, you guys went out to at least 10 to 12 mobile home parks. You guys scouted at least maybe 5 to 7 mobile homes that were for sale on the market. You guys went in and you looked at them, and maybe you guys even put one into contract where you guys actually have a contract lined up where you could actually sit down with an investor and say, hey, I got this contract, this one's ready to go. And if you don't, no big deal. We're still going in with the presentation saying, hey, in these 3 or 4 mobile home parks, there's a handful of opportunities. Here they are, and I would suggest printing pictures out and so forth of the mobile homes that you guys do have interest in possibly acquiring. And also keep in mind, you guys are going to want to basically sell not just the mobile home structure and the numbers, which we'll go into detail, but also the park and the area around it, and public transportation, everything associated with it that makes it a good long-term stable rental income property for you as well as the investor. So let's talk numbers. First off, you're going to want to talk about the structure itself. You're going to want to talk about what they're asking for, what you're trying to get it for, and also what they're trading for as well at retail. So you do want to show that you're a more savvy investor, that you're not looking for the retail value. So for example, let's say they're asking $7,000 and the retail value that they're trading for is about $6,000. You're going into the investor saying you're trying to get these things for, say, $2,500. And that is a fantastic approach because it does show that you guys will have instant equity the day you buy it. So if something does happen, you guys could probably broom it, meaning just unload it as quickly as possible and not only get your money back, but make a little bit of money on top of it. The second thing is the breakdown of the costs of the renovation to get it into rentable condition. So you do want to have a list of all the costs associated with, 2 or 3 mobile homes that you guys are seriously looking at, and showing the cost to repaint it, used appliances, used vanities, and maybe some flooring and so forth, or a little bit of landscaping. So let's just break down the cost of the structure as well as repairs and expenses so the investor knows the total out-of-pocket investment. So for example, if we pick up the structure for $2,500, let's say it's $1,000 of renovation, and then let's call it another $500 for miscellaneous. So depending on your area, you might have to register the structure, or other things might come up that you weren't anticipating, once you turn the water on and so forth. Maybe there's some plumbing issues, whatever the case is. So this would be a total investment that you guys are seeking from the investor of $4,000. I would keep it as simple as that, guys. Just show a simple breakdown and what you guys are seeking out money-wise from the investor. The next thing that we're going to talk about is the income and expenses associated with it. So again, we do want to make sure that we have a clear understanding of exactly what we can rent this property out conservatively and quickly. So whenever I'm running numbers, I want to make sure that you know, that number is based on this property getting off market within days as soon as I market it. So let's say, for example, the rent rate is 700, but we're going to run numbers on 600. So 600 gross rent. And let's say the lot rent is 250. That's going to show our net income of 350. Now, I think having a reserve account is pretty important because there are things, especially if you're renting it out and you're not providing seller financing. As mentioned, I'll do another video on that in terms of providing seller financing so you're not dealing with the headaches of repairs. But I think it's important to have a reserve account for these structures. So that's going to be $60. That's going to leave us a monthly net operating income before taxes of $290 a month. Now, what I suggest is you guys negotiate a position of at least 50%, especially if you guys are going to be doing a lot of the physical work. You might even be able to negotiate a higher number, but let's just take this on a 50%. So if we're dividing that by 2, you guys each would get $145 a month. Now let's figure out the cash on cash return on this person, on this investor's initial $4,000 investment. Now we have to put this on an annual basis. So their 50% take is 145 times 12 equals an annual net operating income of $1,740. Now to figure out the cash on cash return before taxes, we're going to take the 1740 divided by the initial investment from the investor of $4,000. That's going to give us a 43.5% return. When they're looking at these numbers, you can just plainly ask them, what kind of return are they getting in a savings account or a money market account? It's not going to be anywhere as close to this, that's for sure. Now within this presentation, I would also ask them, and you're going to have to read them as well in terms of when you're asking for that $4,000 initial investment, how they react. Are they reacting like, ooh, that's a lot of money? Or are they reacting like, oh, that's nothing? If it's nothing, then we're going to really just dive into, after we show them this percentage, we're going to ask the next closing question: how many mobile homes did you have interest in investing in? And they might ask you, well, what do you mean, or whatever the case is. Just ask, if it's an average investment of $4,000 per mobile home, how many did you have interest in investing in? And who knows, this person might want to invest in 2 or 3 or 5 of them. It's going to be on you guys to ask these important questions to find out what their appetite is for investing in you guys. All right, guys, I hope that all made sense. Now I'm going to go into the actual responsibilities that you guys have. Again, this is hard work. It really is. But once you guys do 1 or 2, you're going to start to get the hang of it. It's going to get easier, but it is a lot of work up front. But once you guys do have this systematically set up, you guys can really enjoy the passive income that comes off of it. In the beginning, it's not going to be passive at all. And based on the responsibilities I'm going to go through with you guys, but these responsibilities, I would lay out so that they can read them. I would put the type print pretty high and show everything that you're going to be doing to get quality investments and take care of their money. Because look, $4,000 is a lot of money for a lot of people, and it's important that you guys are taking care of that money as if it's your own. So you don't want to play around with other people's money and really slack on what you guys are doing. It's a big responsibility to utilize other people's money. If you feel that you guys do not have it within you guys to work hard and get this done, then do not take anybody's money. All right, I'm just gonna wrap these off pretty quick for you guys. Also, I'll put a list down below as well as the financials for you guys in the description below, so you guys can copy and paste and do what you need to do. Number 1 is scout out the right mobile home parks. Remember, we want decent mobile home parks that are not falling apart, where the actual investor that owns the entire mobile home park has pride in their property. So we want to find the right mobile home parks. We want to find the right mobile home deals. As previously mentioned, if the retail is $7,000, we want to get these things at a burner price. We want to get these things at a really good price. Remember, in real estate investing, you make money when you buy. Always keep that in mind. You're going to have to meet and preview the mobile homes that are available for sale with the sellers, and you're going to have to go through them extensively. You're going to have to come up with the renovation costs, a good idea of renovation costs per unit. Remember, you want to have some buffer in there as well. The last thing you want to do is ask for a $4,000 investment and this thing go over budget by another $1,000, and you're coming back to that investor for another $1,000. So make sure your numbers are accurate and correct. You're going to negotiate and sign that deal with the seller of that mobile home. You're going to prepare the mobile home for rent or for sale. Obviously, you're going to do all the necessary work that has to get done. If you can do the work and save that cost, even better. So this might require you putting down floors, painting the property, and so forth. You're going to market the mobile home for rent or seller financing if you guys proceed to do seller financing and relieve yourself of a lot of headaches. You're going to screen all the prospective tenants as well as potential buyers if you're doing seller financing. You're going to negotiate and execute any leases for the mobile home and or seller financing contracts. You're going to be responsible for the collection of payments and non-payments. So if somebody's not paying, you're going to have to go through the process of getting them out of the property if they're not paying. You're going to be responsible for all the calls associated with leasing the property out if a toilet's leaking and so forth, and showing up to the property and fixing the known issues. Now, this list is just a bullet point list that I thought of. I'm sure that there's other minor things. There's other things associated with your responsibilities. But the last and final thing is finding more deals. Remember, this investor, if they do like what you're doing and they are collecting $145 a month without doing anything, without any phone calls, without any headaches, and you're taking care of it and you're taking care of their money and you're providing them a good return on investment, they will invest more into you. And also, they can be a source of other people, other investors as well. So if they don't necessarily have the funds to buy another mobile home, you can ask them. They will be your cheerleaders. You can ask them, who else do you think would benefit from a $4,000 investment like you are right now? And they could be your cheerleaders. I'm going to leave you guys off with, remember what I said before. Whatever you do, if you guys are not going to perform, do not take anybody's money. You have to be extremely responsible. You have to treat it as if it's your own. And even if you're bad with money, then don't treat it as if it's your own. Treat it with your life. And be sure that you guys watch the other video on buying mobile homes with no money down. And I will have another video coming out buying these with no money down, and also offering seller financing, so it'll relieve you guys of the headaches of landlord responsibilities. If you guys do like this video, I appreciate a big thumbs up. That'll let me know to do more videos like this, and ask any questions in the comments below. And if you guys do like this content, I appreciate you guys subscribing. Thanks a lot.